What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and today I wanted to talk about video game remakes. It's happening a lot more now with Final Fantasy VII, obviously, and then you got the Resident Evil 2. We're seeing a lot of remasters. I'm kind of like, I was thinking about it the other day, and it seems to be so much more polarizing than I feel like it should be. I am just baffled by the amount of dislike that people seem to have for the idea of remaking some of these games. I don't know. I don't understand. I see a lot of people saying, oh man, well, if they don't get it right, then it's going to be terrible, and I can't believe they would do that to this game and everything. It's well, what is that exactly taking away from the original? If you don't like the new one that's coming out, play the original. It's not going anywhere. That's still going to be there. I get it. Like in the case of Final Fantasy VII, don't get me wrong. If the game is garbage when it comes out, the new one, I'll be disappointed for sure. Because for me, a good remake, and I'm well aware that I'm probably in the minority here, but for me, a good remake of that would literally just be update the graphics to modern day, keep everything the same, maybe polish up the translation. If you want to add a few side quests or something like that, that's about as far as I would go. Just make it look new, but keep everything pretty much the same. That would be a good remake for me. I get, though, that you want to modernize it and you want to make it more attractive to new players to the series and stuff. Because right now, you tell somebody to go play Final Fantasy VII, chances are they're going to look at it and be like, oh god, no, what? I can't even tell what half these things on the screen are. For those of us that played it when it came out, it was unbelievable. It was amazing. And for many of us, it still is. But a lot of new players, a lot of younger players especially, have a hard time kind of being able to accept that stuff without the effect of rose-colored glasses, which is understandable completely. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of people who can still, even younger people, who can go back and enjoy those older games as well. I know a few guys that do that are younger than I am, that didn't get to play those games, but they still do enjoy going and checking out those older retro games, which I would love to see a lot more of. But I also hear basically people saying this is basically going to alienate people from trying other games in the series or liking this game. If this game is terrible, that's going to be the impression that it leaves on these people. For one, what do you really care what they think? I guess then you could make the argument. I have a lot of arguments with myself back and forth and try to see both sides of things. But you could then argue, then that hinders any chance of them trying other games in the series, or it hinders them. It basically makes them say oh, Final Fantasy VII, that game was terrible. Well, which version did you play? One of those kind of situations. I feel like if you look at it that way also, you could maybe get a good idea for the direction of the series and where it's going to. Who knows, if the Final Fantasy VII Remake sucks, and they're planning on implementing a lot of ideas from it to Final Fantasy XVI, maybe they get a little bit of backlash. People are like, hey, we don't like this, we don't like this, we don't like this. And they're like, oh, well, hold on, let's take a step back and not do that for 16. It could end up potentially helping the developers, giving them some info on future releases and that kind of stuff, too. So, I don't know. For me, the positives definitely outweigh the negatives when it comes to remakes. And, again, personally, it doesn't take anything away from the older stuff. So those games will always be there, and if you enjoy it, go for it, man. Just play those older games. You don't have to start to play the new stuff. You want to talk about it, fine, but man, people get so heated about this stuff, and it's mind-boggling to me. I don't get it. So I don't know. Yeah. So those are kind of my thoughts on remakes. I'm all for them. I would love to see newer stuff more often, and I hope that when they do remakes, they stick to games that need it. Perfect example, Final Fantasy VI, my favorite game of all time. People are saying, do a remake. I'm like, does it really need it? If you want to do one, great, by all means, go for it, absolutely. But it's I feel like you could be spending your time on other stuff, because that one, like, the 7 needs it because of the graphics were awesome when it came out, but now, man, they're rough. So, but 6 with Sprite graphics, they age super well. So I don't know that you necessarily need it. Re-releasing is great. I am 100% for re-releasing on stuff. I don't understand the anger towards remaking this stuff. But anyway, so just some ramblings and thoughts on video game remakes for me. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, keep on gaming.